We have received several pieces of new information about Natlan in the past 2 weeks, and in this video, we are going to discuss everything we know about Natlan so far. But keep in mind that this is part 2 of the Everything We Know About Natlan series, so if you haven't watched the first one yet, I suggest you watch it after this video because I will skip some details that have already been discussed in part 1. Before we begin, Wanderers and Baiju's banners are now up on the servers, and here's how you can save some money if you're planning to pull for them. I've been using this thing called Loot Bar for over 8 months, and it has saved me tons of money. It's a great way to top up for games like Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail, and as you can see here, top-ups which normally cost $100 in Genshin, cost just $86 on Loot Bar. If you're wondering how it works, Loot Bar offers the cheapest prices by leveraging favorable exchange rates, and it is in direct partnership with authorized top-up partners of Hoyoverse, so every top-up you do will be processed through Hoyoverse's routing channels. It's 100% safe and secure, so check the link in the description or pinned comment to get an extra 5% discount. So we already know that Natlan is the next nation where we are going to find our sibling, and version 5.0 is going to introduce us to Natlan. It will be released on August 28th, and I'm very excited for it. Starting with the release window of Natlan characters, according to recent information, Hoyoverse will release 2 new 5-star characters in version 5.0, 1 new 5-star character in 5.1, and 1 new 5-star character in 5.2 as well. It's still unknown who these characters will be at the moment, but according to the sources, one of the 5-star characters who will be released in 5.0 uses a catalyst, and the other one uses a claymore. I was very surprised by this because Hoyoverse often releases 2 new 5-stars in every X.1 patch, so for them to release 2 5-stars in 5.0, I don't know what to say. They released Sino and Nilu in 3.1, Ryasli and Nuvalet in 4.1, so they should release those 2 5-stars in 5.1, but it's not mandatory I guess. At any rate, the new 5-star in 5.1 will most likely be Xbalanque, and the 5-star character in 5.2 will definitely be the Pyro Archon. Same sources have recommended that whatever we do, we should not skip the Pyro Archon, which means that she is going to be an extremely important character meta-wise. Moving on to Xbalanque. He is one of the upcoming playable characters in the game, and is expected to be the Pyro Sovereign. There are multiple rumors about his appearance, but according to the latest information, he might have tanned skin with red hair, or white skin with red hair, or tanned skin with white hair. They also said that Xbalanque has more revealing clothes, so I'm praying that he'll be somewhat like that fan-made character in the thumbnail I've been using for a while for reference. HXG also said that Xbalanque will be using a short male model, so he could use a similar model to Bennett, or he could be one of the first short or chibi male characters. It's bad news for Xbalanque lovers like me, but we can't do anything about it and can only hope that he gets to use a tall model. About Xbalanque, they also said that he is not human, he belongs to a completely different race with a very long lifespan, so is there a chance that he is the Pyro Sovereign? It's just speculation on my part, so don't take it seriously. Moving on to the mount system or the dragon riding system. According to information via HXG Deluxe, Natlan will introduce a new dragon riding system or mount system in version 5.0. Before this, we did receive some similar information from other sources, but they were hard to believe at that time since it was way too early. But now that many sources are talking about it, I guess we will indeed see the mount system in Natlan. Moving on to Columbina. She is the third of the 11 Fatui Harbingers and is believed to possess powers rivaling the gods. According to the new info via Team Mew, Columbina isn't a Seelie, as speculated by many people since her first appearance in the Winter Nights Lazo trailer. According to Team Mew, Columbina is a blessed race, with a direct link to the gods of Natlan. The term blessed race compares her to existing characters such as Yai Miko or the Aranara, which means that her species were likely created by the previous Pyro Archon. It should be noted that this info, like others, should be taken with a grain of salt. The only thing that you can confirm from this new information is that Columbina will feature in Natlan's Archon quest, and that her species is geographically tied to Natlan. After all, Xbalanque is heavily rumored to be one of the Dragon Sovereigns, and they are considered to be the original deities whose divine authority was usurped by the Archons, so it will be interesting to see how things will unfold in Natlan. According to Utavet, the Natlan chapter is going to adopt a performing arts-centered design philosophy, similar to the 4.6 World Quest. It means that Hoyoverse will focus more on Natlan's story and its culture, but it doesn't mean that they would stop paying attention to the overworld exploration either. According to the source, everything about Natlan will be heavily centered around the story, but it won't be like Sumeru where the maps were locked behind a bunch of world quests. Hoyo will also improve the music and animation in Natlan, which they have already confirmed through their recent post about new device requirements in 5.0. In short, Genshin is steering its wheel from open-world exploration to storytelling, maybe because a huge number of people play Genshin just for the story, but it doesn't mean that they're going to shorten the map size or the open-world exploration. Moving on to the Pyro Archon. According to the recent info, Pyro Archon's character model will be taller than Furina. They also used Klee's hat as a reference point to explain the height difference between the Pyro Archon and Furina's model. Initially, it was rumored that the Pyro Archon would be of the same height as Furina, and some players were not happy with this info. But now it seems like the Pyro Archon will be using a taller model instead. From what we know so far, the Pyro Archon has dual forms, and the first one is a girl form. Do you remember the concept art that circulated some time ago, with a golden mask, red and white dress, and blue-purple feathers mixed with white? The feathers on her head are from a robin, which is a small bird, and the design prototype of the Electro Sovereign is also based on a robin. The second form is an adult female form. In this concept art, she has a red and black hat with red feathers, flame pupils, red hair with a gradient to gold at the ends in a low ponytail, and two long locks of the same color in the front. In both of these designs, the height of the Pyro Archon is different, so we still don't know whether she will be tall or a medium-height character. About the Pyro Archon's nature, they said that she's an extroverted character who is very enthusiastic about things, and her role in the plot is related to redemption or salvation, somewhat like Furina maybe. They also mentioned some details about the Electro Sovereign. According to them, the Electro Sovereign is a female character and will not be playable. There's a chance that she might appear in Natlan, but she will have very little screen time and her design has those Robin features as well. They also shared some uncertain content, which might or might not be implemented in the game. According to them, the Pyro Archon has a short girl design, but as I said, it is uncertain if it is related to the storyline or if it will be implemented at all. There is also a Natlan character, a female unit wielding a large sword, with braids and an ancient-style concept design. A few weeks ago, I informed you all that the map size of Natlan would likely be larger than Sumeru, including the desert area. And according to the latest info by Gura, the version 5.0 update will introduce a map that is as big as Sumeru's entire map during the version 3.1 update, and the game's size will surpass the 200 GB barrier. In case you don't remember, Sumeru went through a map expansion in version 3.1, introducing the Great Red Sea Desert. This expansion wasn't small, and we are talking about the entire map here, not just the 3.1 expansion, so be ready to find over 400 Pyroculus or something, because if this is true, this would be one of the largest maps released in a single version update. According to the new info, Natlan's map will have tons of vertical landforms, like mountains and volcanoes. The sources have used Mount Sukai from the Mashin hero Wataru as a reference but without the 7 floating layers. They also said that Natlan will feature some gameplay mechanics involving volcanic steam cannons that we can use for long-distance travel. Hoyoverse will also add some new Artifacts Strongboxes. According to recent information, Deepwood Memories, Gilded Dream, Desert Pavilion, Flower of Lost Paradise, and Varukasha's Glow will be added in version 5.0. There are also rumors about new artifacts and mechanics that will increase the importance of Hydro and Cryo characters in the future meta. Moving on to the Fatui Harbingers, the source said that Natlan has a few ruins, and Capitano being there is basically confirmed. I don't think they meant that Capitano is living in the ruins, but yes, Capitano will definitely be there in Natlan as confirmed by Nuvolet. Columbina will also be accompanying Capitano, but her role is quite different. Her character in the story is someone who uses her special authority or power to watch how things will unfold, and to clear up the mess created by other Harbingers. Apart from these two, Dottore is also expected to appear in Natlan, but his role in the plot is still unknown at the moment. Moving on to the increase in characters level. According to Info via Fowl, Hoyoverse might increase the maximum level of characters from level 90 to 100 in Natlan. If this is true, then they'll likely increase the maximum levels of enemies as well to make things somewhat difficult for players, which I wouldn't mind by the way. But they will also have to increase the resin cap. If not, then I don't see any point in doing that. Moving on to the story progression. After Fontaine, here's how the story will progress. First, we will go to Natlan as we all know, then we'll go to Snaznaya, and that will be our last region from Teyvat. After Snaznaya, we will get the Rebellion or Conria arc, where Hoyoverse might release Dainsleif as a playable character. After the Conria arc, we will get the Celestia arc, and at last, we will get the post-Teyvat story, so we still have a lot of time before Genshin Impact ends. And the post-Teyvat story means that Genshin Impact might have a part 2, similar to Honkai Impact 3rd. At last, remember that all of this information was shared by Plum Team Leaks, HXG Diluc, Uteyvat, Sealy, and Uncle Ark. All of these sources have made accurate predictions in the past. However, these are still early infos, and are subject to change in the future, so take them with a grain of salt. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss any updates.